I'll be honest with you, this is not a good response. This is not a good response by Zach, and this is kind of concerning. So, Zach Taylor talked today about our offensive run game. And if you know anything about our run game, it has been absolute nothing. And it got to a point with Zach where I just gave up the end of last year when it came to me wanting to run the ball more. I always want to run the ball more. Obviously, running the football is great. It makes you not one-dimensional. You don't have to risk it with the throws. And for the most part, if you can run the ball, you can control time of possession, control the game clock, control the game, and you can limit the amount of possessions, right? Running the ball is always great. But I've given up last year because Zach refused to run the ball at all. This year, we ran the ball a little bit, and I was excited, but it's Zach Taylor, so I knew how it was going to go. And if you've been a Bengals fan for any amount of years, pretty much, and you've seen Zach, you know how it works. We might start off running the football a lot and getting the run game going, but then we're just going to completely abandon it. And whether or not that is because of Zach Taylor's offensive play calls, whether that's because of the fact that our line is struggling against the run, whatever the case, we just go away from it and we never come back. So I've kind of now just gotten to a point where I'm just like, hey, it is what it is, which it's not good. It's not good to be in that mentality, but the problem is that just there's nothing we can really do as fans, right? So with that being said, they asked him today about the run game, and here's what he had to say. Can be a little more physical at the point of attack. Zach, honestly, a better response than what you gave was you just sitting there and saying, I like to poop, I like to shoot, I like to eat my poop. That would be a better response because you said that's the same thing, Zach. That's the same thing. This is a pointless response. Can be a little. Bro, we're not at a point of the season. If you are running the ball efficiently, but you're not, doing crazy good, but it's good enough that you look at it and you're like, you know what? We're not the best, but we're pretty good. And, I'm pretty happy with what we're doing. And you're actually being able to move the ball efficiently. That's when you say you can be a little bit more physical. When you run the ball and you're running it and you're good, but, you're like average, but you're not good. You're kind of just like above average. You're getting some yards. Maybe you're averaging 3.7 yards per carry. It's concerning, but it's not that bad. You say, we could be more physical, right? We need to be more physical. When you're running the ball as bad as we are and looking as atrocious as we are running the ball, which is, a common theme for us, you don't say a little. My guy, a little is not in your repertoire. A little is not in your, Pandora's box of words. We need to be more physical. We need to shut down. We need to be able to run the ball. We need to pass block and run block better. This is the mentality, man. This is the problem. You can't have this type of mentality. We could do it a little better. No, we need to do better, Zach. You need to sit up there and you need to preach. We need to do better. We need to run block better. We need to run the ball better. He needs to call run plays. Oh, man. It's this mentality of just good enough. Just good enough. Mediocre. No. We need this team to be at a point where we're not okay with mediocre. You're not accepting mediocre, Zach. You're looking at this and you're saying, this is unacceptable. We are better than this. We are higher level than this. We are a top level team. We are not going to accept just good enough. That's what's frustrating. you should be appalled, disgusted. You should look at our run numbers and think, that is ugly. That is unacceptable. You're the coach. This is a example, as you're the offensive coordinator, Zach. This is an example out of you, buddy. 2.7 yards per carry. This is a representation of you as an offensive coordinator. 2.9 yards per carry. Giants game. Well, Joe Burrow. Giants game was actually not that horrendous for the amount of times we ran the ball, which we don't run the ball at all, so it doesn't really matter. We run the ball so much less than any other team in the NFL. 3.8 yards per carry. That's actually not that horrendously bad. 2.7, that's atrocious. This is an example of you, Zach. But this is the problem. It's adequate. It's acceptable because it's adequate. No. It's not just good enough. Okay? Earlier in the season, these are pretty good numbers. 4.8, 8.9, you know. We're doing pretty good early in the season running the football, right? That's atrocious, but still. And then the last 4 or 5 weeks, we don't run the football. We can't run the football. We are one-dimensional. We go into games one-dimensional. Every single shot is out of shotgun. We're being very predictable with the defense, with the offense. Defenses aren't scared of us. These are all issues. And you can't look at them and say, well, we gotta be a little better. No. You go up there and you say, we are going to be better. We are going to do better. And I'm going to make sure of it. Because it's my damn job to make sure we do better. You go up there and you say, it's unacceptable. How we've been running the football is unacceptable. And we're better than that. And we're a better team than that. And we can go out there and we can play better football than that. That's what you say, Zach. You don't say, oh, we can do a little bit better. Good job, champ. You did your best. No. These are grown men. They're getting paid millions of dollars. We invested so much money in draft picks on the offensive line. We have great running backs. We went out there and signed a running back. We drafted a great running back in Chase Brown. Stop it with the mediocre crap. It's just good enough. It's not good enough. It's not a little bit more physical. You know, I, to a point, wouldn't mind him going up there and saying, we need to do our damn job. And we're not doing our damn job. We're hurting the offense by not being able to run the football. We're hurting the offense by Zach Taylor calling the offense. Hurt to say, but it's true. Okay? You always preach, Zach, accountability. Right? You say it all the time, buddy. You say to everybody, accountable. We gotta be accountable. We gotta be accountable. If you're accountable, why does everyone else have to be accountable but you? What's going on there, buddy? Anyway, Joe Burrow at Wednesday's practice. It was 75 degrees today, so... Well, it's 75 degrees in Cincy. I don't know what it is in Dayton. I haven't looked at the weather report. But Orlando Brown present but not in uniform for Wednesday's process at 75-degree weather. There's no tea either. Yeah, that's not surprising. It's the first day of the week. Listen, right? We got to get out of this mindset. And the front office does too, of just good enough. And this is why we don't make trades. This is why we don't make splash plays. It's why we're not doing things to make us better. And we're just accepting the team we have because we keep this mentality of it's just good enough. And you know what? Here's a fun fact, right? You know Ray Lewis, right? The murderer. I meant the linebacker. Sorry, my bad. Brain just went bye-bye. Anyway, if you played Madden 13, right? You played Madden 13 the game. He says in there, when you load up the intro, he says, I was never content with just being good enough. And while I don't love Ray Lewis for his off-the-field antics, that is a very, very powerful statement. Okay? Never be content with just good enough. Because when you're content with just good enough, you start to become obsolete. You start to suck. You start to get beat. You start to not become the team you used to be. And that's happening. We were a Super Bowl team. We were back-to-back AFC Championship team. And now we got content with just good enough. And you can't do that. You can't be content with where you are. You always, as a team, as players, as coaches, you always have to be looking to get better. Okay? Looking to improve. The NFL is a fast-paced industry. And while, you want to sit there and say, oh, we're the best, we're the team to beat. Remember Jamar Chase said, we're the team to beat. The problem is, you're not the team to beat forever, buddy. If you don't evolve, the rest of the league will evolve around you. And you could be the team to beat, but you might not remain the team to beat. Because if you sit there and you accept just good enough, everyone around you is just going to get better and better and better. And you're going to sit there and say, well, we're doing the same thing we've been doing. Why aren't we successful? Because everyone else became more successful. And you're just good enough, hate to tell you, buddy, isn't good enough anymore. We have to do better. So, Zach, in conclusion, don't say we need to be more physical. You need to go up there and say, we are going to be more physical. We are going to do better. We are going to be more accountable. And it starts with you. That's who it starts with, Zach. It starts with you. You are not only the head coach. You are the offensive coordinator, Zach. It's your job to get the job done. It's your job to fix the wrongdoings. It's your job to be accountable. God bless.